The world remembers the Great Pyramid, but almost no one remembers the city that gave it life. Every morning began long before the first stone ever moved. The city awakened while the desert still slept. My home was small, built of mud brick and hope. It held everything I needed, my family, my memories, and a reason to keep building. Before builders found their strength, the bakers had already begun their work. The smell of fresh bread filled every street before sunrise. Every loaf fed another pair of hands. Every meal became another stone lifted toward the sky. Beer was not a luxury. It was clean, nourishing, and gave us the strength to face another day beneath the Egyptian sun. This was no camp of slaves. It was a thriving city filled with families, craftsmen, engineers, and people who believed their work mattered. Before a single hammer struck stone, water had already begun its journey through the city, carried by hands as important as any builders. While we dreamed of monuments, our children dreamed only of another beautiful morning, another game, another laugh beneath the warm Egyptian sky. As the sun climbed above the desert, an entire city walked together toward history, one ordinary step at a time. Before the stones could move, thousands of hungry mouths had to be fed. Every meal was as important as every block we lifted. We shared the same bread, the same onions, and the same beer. Around the table, no man stood above another. The potter shaped more than clay. Every jar he crafted carried water, grain, or beer that kept the city alive. Inside the copper workshop, sparks flew with every hammer strike. A single sharp chisel could save days of exhausting labor. I watched the craftsmen sharpen each blade with quiet patience. Great monuments begin with the smallest tools. The rope makers twisted flax into thick, powerful cords. We trusted those ropes with every stone, and with our lives. The carpenters shaped sleds, levers, and handles from sturdy wood. Without their skill, even the strongest men could move nothing. Every sunrise, caravans arrived from across Egypt carrying grain, timber, pottery, and supplies. The pyramid was sustained by an entire kingdom. The scribes recorded every worker, every basket, every tool. Their careful writing kept order where thousands labored together. Looking across the city, I finally understood the truth. The Great Pyramid was never built by one man. It was built by an entire civilization. Even after the pyramid was complete, our work was never without danger. A single careless moment could leave a lasting scar. Before I could steady the beam, it slipped. My arm burned with pain, and my brothers rushed to my side without hesitation. No one walked alone after an injury. Strong hands carried me through the village, just as we had carried countless stones together. The healer welcomed every worker with calm eyes and gentle hands. Here, every life was worth protecting. She washed the wound with clean water and healing herbs before wrapping it carefully in fresh linen. Kindness was part of the treatment. Nearby, another builder sat quietly as his broken arm was set with a wooden splint. Pain was common, but so was hope. As I rested beneath the shade, a friend brought me bread and beer. Sometimes healing begins with simple acts of compassion. Within a few days, I returned to work. My arm was still sore, but my spirit was stronger than ever. That evening, we gathered around the table once more. We shared food, stories, and laughter, reminding one another that none of us carried the burden alone. As children laughed through the dusty streets, I realized we were building more than a monument. We were building a place our families could proudly call home. Before a single stone could stand perfectly in place, someone first measured the earth with extraordinary patience and care. The architects drew simple lines across smooth limestone. From those quiet marks, one of the greatest monuments in history would rise. Young apprentices watched every movement of their teachers. Knowledge was not written in books. It was passed from steady hands to eager eyes. While we lifted blocks beneath the sun, the master builders planned every angle, every measurement, and every decision with remarkable precision. The ground beneath the pyramid had to be perfectly level. A tiny mistake at the beginning could become a great failure at the end.
Food is almost ready.
I watched a master mason run his fingers across two stones. They fit so perfectly that even a blade could scarcely pass between them. The greatest leaders rarely shouted. They walked among us, correcting small details, teaching patiently, and earning respect through wisdom. Looking across the city, I saw bakers, healers, carpenters, potters, scribes, and builders working as one. Every profession carried part of the pyramid within it. An old engineer smiled as he traced simple shapes in the sand. Stone may last for thousands of years, he said, but knowledge lasts even longer.
Now,
as the sun set over the workers' city, I understood the truth. The Great Pyramid was built not only with strength, but with intelligence, cooperation, and trust. When the day's work was done, the village came alive in a different way. We returned home not as builders, but as families. We gathered around fresh bread, warm meals, and quiet conversation. The simplest moments often became the most precious memories. As darkness settled over the city, the elders shared stories beside the fire. Their words carried the wisdom of generations. Music drifted through the evening air. Harps, flutes, and gentle drums reminded us that even hard work deserved moments of joy. Nearby, children laughed as they stacked little stones into tiny pyramids. They dreamed of building wonders long before they understood their meaning. Night embraced the workers' city. Oil lamps flickered softly while the Great Pyramid stood peacefully beneath a sky filled with countless stars. I often stood outside my home, looking toward Giza. No matter how far away I was, part of my heart still remained with the pyramid. One evening, my son gently touched the scars on my hands. To him, they were only marks. To me, they were the story of an extraordinary journey. Before sleep, I listened to the quiet sounds of the village. Tomorrow would bring another sunrise, another day's work, and another chance to build a better future. People believed the Great Pyramid was the heart of Giza, but I knew the real heart beat here, among the families who gave that monument its life. The seasons passed like the waters of the Nile. Harvest followed harvest. Children grew older, yet the Great Pyramid remained unchanged against the horizon.
Does it hurt?
The carpenter's workshop grew quiet.
How did you get these ropes?
The sound of hammers slowly faded, leaving only sunlight, dust, and the memories of countless hands at work. One family after another packed their belongings onto donkeys and began the long journey home. Their work was finished, but their stories would travel with them forever. The streets that once echoed with laughter and busy footsteps slowly fell silent. Doors closed, and the desert wind became the loudest voice in the city. Only one bakery remained open. The old baker placed the final loaves into woven baskets, knowing tomorrow there would be no thousands of workers to feed.
Farewell for now.
That evening, we gathered beneath the stars for one last meal. We shared bread, memories, and quiet smiles, grateful for the years we had spent together. As dawn broke, I turned back for one final look. I wanted to remember every street, every workshop, every face that had become part of my life.
Look at what we built.
Little by little, the desert reclaimed the roads we had walked together.
Our children will remember this
Wind
night.
erased our footprints, but it could never erase what we had built. The city did not disappear all at once. It simply grew quieter with each passing season, until history almost forgot it had ever existed. The world would always remember the Great Pyramid. I only hoped it would remember the ordinary people who had once called this remarkable city home. The years became centuries. Our homes slowly disappeared beneath the desert sands, but the Great Pyramid continued to greet every sunrise. Beneath this silent ground rested streets, workshops, ovens, laughter, and countless ordinary lives that history almost forgot. Thousands of years later, careful hands brushed away the sand once more. They uncovered not a lost kingdom, but the forgotten city of its builders. The greatest discovery was never another hidden chamber inside the Great Pyramid. It was the people who gave that monument its heart, its purpose, and its soul. History remembers monuments, but civilizations are remembered through the ordinary men, women, and children who built them. Our names may have vanished, but our story will live forever.